Tragedy has struck Gippsland in regional Victoria after Pastor Ian, his wife Heather, her sister Gail and husband Don all shared a meal at a home in Leongatha on July 29. The next day they were taken to hospital. On Friday, the two sisters aged 66 and 70 died. Last night, Don, aged 70, passed away. Pastor Ian Wilkinson, aged 68, remains in a critical condition. It's believed they all ate wild mushrooms.
It's a really shocking situation and quite devastating for both myself but also many in our community.
Australia has more than 50,000 fungi species and some can be fatal.
Foraging for mushrooms, it can be so dangerous because it can be deadly. There is deadly mushrooms in Australia growing in our fields and parks.
The most common cause of poisoning is linked to the yellow staining mushroom, but the ghost fungus, shaggy parasol and earthball are also dangerous. The worst and deadliest are the funeral bell and the death cap, which grows from South Australia along the east coast. Consuming a piece the size of a 20-cent coin can kill.
This is an infamous mushroom. Super deadly. Actually destroys, melts your liver.
90% of the cases is related to one species, the dead cap. You find it in parks, you find it in fields. It looks like the mushroom you buy at a supermarket. So it's very easy to get it confused for people who don't know what they're looking at.
The deaths come amid a surge in foraging, off the back of another bumper fungi season.
Come mushroom foraging with me.
All right, so evening foray.
Look at the size of it, it's huge.
And with more people taking up foraging, here's some things you need to know.
My advice would be first, learn from an expert. Second, familiarize yourself not only with the edible target species, but the look-alike. Get yourself an identification book. Most of all, enjoy it safely.
Well, Dr. Karl's been looking into it and he's here now. Doc, it's good to see you. Back in April, Victoria Health put out a warning against these deadly mushrooms spiking up after the cool and wet weather. But how does the mushroom actually kill you?
Well, around the world there are 14 major groups of mushrooms that kill you. In the USA there's 10, in Australia there's 1 or 2. And they make chemicals like rocket fuel, hydrazine, or things that'll knock off your brain, your heart, your kidneys, your liver, and even your muscles, and turn your muscles into a protein mush. And that's called rhabdomyolysis, which then kills your kidneys. So they've got some really good ways of killing us.
Oh, my goodness. If you don't know much about mushrooms, like if you haven't got your identification card and you're just going out foraging, is there any way to determine which ones are poisonous, or you just have to know this is what a death cap looks like, so avoid it? Yes,
but sometimes you can get tricked. And so recently I went out with my sister-in-law, who is French, and she took us foraging in the forest, and we had the best mushroom meal of my entire life. I'd never had a better one. And then we mentioned this to my other sister-in-law, who is a medical doctor in the IC unit, and she yelled at me for being an idiot because she was treating somebody who was dying slowly and painfully over a period of a week. And she would say, "How dare you? Don't you know anything? Even experts can't tell a difference." And so I think the safe way is that you rely on past history. So in France, they know that they go here at this time of year and everybody does it. And then my sister-in-law said, the French one said, "Of course, a few people die every year."
Oh, great.
Well, is there any known antidote for poisonous mushrooms at all?
Sure. Depending on the pathway, you start off with just supportive treatment, and then depending on how it kills you, you've got chemicals that might work. So you might use atropine against the cholinergic ones, or if they are slow to dump the poison into you, you just give heroic doses of IV fluids and you just flush it out. And or you give activated charcoal. And then there are various other chemicals that you can give if you know what you're dealing with. But in many cases, it leads to a slow death. But in most cases, people live.
Okay.
It's sort of like a lottery.
So foraging is making a bit of a comeback generally, though. I think it started to happen during COVID, but now because of the cost of living crisis, more people are said to be doing it. Are there other things that we need to be careful of picking up, other veggies?
Well, rhubarb leaves are nasty.
What do? They've
got oxalic acid and they can make you very unwell.
Okay.
The universe is a dangerous place.
Yeah.
You've got to be knowledgeable about what is around you so you can survive it.
OK, so be a knowledgeable forager.
Yes, that would help, and also go by past history of what people have done. And if it's mushroom season, wait a week until somebody else tries them from that.
But don't go with the French lady.
Well, they know stuff. She's been picking mushrooms since she was 5. But that was in France, which is different from Australia. And they could get colonised by a nasty mushroom coming in.
You're basically saying forage in the fruit and vegetable department of the supermarket.
Ish, no, but it was the best mushroom meal of my entire life, honestly.
We're lucky you're still here. Yes.
Well, the odds are massively in my favour. It falls into the category of an event that happens rarely, but when it does happen, can be catastrophic.
And Dr. Karl, for someone who is looking for a certain kind of mushroom in the forests, where would one find those?
Hallucinogenic mushrooms? Well, you need to know the Amanita muscaratus and the purple tops and the scarlet tops and the brown mealy. Well, I think we should go offline and talk about this.
Because none of that is condoned.
No, of course not.
Although, in some cases, there are grounds for small doses of hallucinogenics being able to be used under medical supervision to possibly relieve some types of depression and so forth. At the moment, we move from all hallucinogenics are bad into they'll cure everything from sunstroke to syphilis and varicose veins, and then we'll pull back to find the happy medium ground.
Medical supervision, they're the key
Yes,
kind of words
dead right.
there. Hey, Dr. Karl, thanks for stopping by.
Dr. Sarah.